Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Ch.8 Matsuribayashi. Last episode, Rika, at the bequest of Hanyu, told everyone about her dilemma under the guise of her writing a comic book about it, and has discovered either a or several possible motives for Takano. She also talked to Irie, who did not believe, anything, so neato. And now we have glitched Mion on screen, because I can guarantee she's not supposed to be here. She was glitching in and off the screen last episode, too. I don't know, there's some fucking visual errors with this part of the chapter. As long as we don't have glitched Mion come along for the ride for the rest of the series, that should be good. Otherwise, hello, glitched Mion. Let's read. I'd only asked for Tomitake. But Irie had come with him and the ghost of Mion. Irie must be bothered by what I told him this morning, but he can't come to a conclusion on his own, so he wants Tomitake to listen to me too. After saying... I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously with Mion being there. After saying that he wouldn't interrupt us, Irie sat down a little distance away. Okay, she disappeared. Good. I heard from Director Irie. Why are you suspicious of Takano-san? She knows better than anyone that your death would cause a disaster. Besides, Takano-san has been good to you and Satoko-chan, right? And to say this about her now, don't you think that's a little ungrateful? I expected this from Tomitake. If I was in the same mood as I was this morning, I probably wouldn't have continued. But having expected this, I'm able to continue without getting upset. Tomitake, please be honest with me. I want you to really think about it too. Of course, Takano wouldn't kill me under normal circumstances, but can you absolutely guarantee that she would never do so? What do you mean? Takano has devoted her life to the research of the syndrome. Isn't that true? Yeah. Just between you and me, she's the most important person at this institution. Director Irie's position is just a formality, and Takano-san is the one who's really leading the research. This is supposed to be a secret, but the syndrome was discovered by her grandfather. Takano-san respects him greatly, and she opened the Irie Institute so she could continue and complete his research. Tomitake here with the exposition dump. Yeah! I thought Rika didn't know this. I don't know, maybe she did. So how does she feel now about being told that the project will be shutting down within 3 years? Takano even went to Tokyo and requested an extension, but it was denied, right? Couldn't you say then that the meaning of her life itself is being denied? Don't you think she's hurt? Rika-chan, where did you hear all that? Tomitake went silent for a moment. He must have realized that I'm not just saying random things. It is true that Takano-san went to see the board of directors, and that she was evaluated extremely poorly. According to what I've heard, they really ridiculed her work. She was told that the research project was a waste of money. She's been acting normally, but I think she was really hurt by it, yeah. See? So how can you be so sure that she won't become desperate, thinking that her research is going to be shut down anyway? No, not Takano-san. That's impossible. Same line as me, yep. That's the same thing that Irie said. He kept saying it was impossible, yet he couldn't deny it completely. He repeated the same phrase over and over to refute that possibility. In fact, even though we know Takano is the enemy, we can only guess at her motive. The only way to find out is to tie her down and make her confess. But there is meaning in making Tomitake become suspicious of Takano. It's even important to do that, so that he'll become my ally. Of course, this is also a strategy devised by our club leader, who is still a ghost, probably. It's rather a scary thing to imagine, but Takano-san won't gain anything from your death. I can understand her becoming desperate, but she has self-control. Time heals all wounds. Isn't it easier to deceive the heartbroken? Deceive? What do you mean? Tomitake, if I die, something terrible will happen, right? An emergency manual will be executed, and the whole village will be destroyed. Is that right? I had no idea. Tomitake isn't good at covering his lies. It shows that he's bad at hiding things, since he's innately honest. Which makes him a nice person. Irie told me already. I don't want to waste time, so let's be open about this, okay? The emergency manual is a last resort, so if it's actually executed, it'll be a disaster, right? Tomitake seemed to be wondering if he should confirm the existence of the emergency manual. But the fact that Irie had already told me about it, combined with me being the Queen Carrier, prompted him to confirm it, albeit hesitantly. Yeah, it will be a disaster. It's not easy to erase an entire village. We'll have to cross several dangerous bridges, and it's not humane even if it becomes necessary. It truly will be a disaster. I'll be straight with you. Someone will benefit from that situation. No way! There can't be! There won't be any gains. It'll develop into a hunt for blame, and in the worst case, the problem might expand past Tokyo and into the government. In which case, there's someone who will benefit from that commotion, isn't there? If the emergency manual is executed, there will be someone forced to sign off on it. And afterward, they'll start an investigation into the people who allowed the situation to get to that point. To be specific, those in charge of organizing the Irie Institute. Won't those manipulators be forced to take the blame and be driven out of Tokyo? I'm not sure. There's a limited number of posts. People are constantly vying for them. So would it be that strange if there was someone hoping to steal a seat by lighting a fuse on this dangerous bomb we call the emergency manual? They could remain hidden in a safe place and smugly fill the empty seat after everything's blown up. All this is what Mion suggested from beyond the grave. She didn't know a thing about Tokyo, yet she struck its core so hard even Tomitake was shaken. Mion is the greatest commander and strategist our club ever had. Tomitake folded his arms. He's starting to lose his cool. I think he realizes that what I'm saying isn't mere nonsense. It's true that a big shot in Tokyo just passed away. A what? He left a power vacuum, and there's a political struggle going on over it. Even the Irie Institute's client, the Alphabet Project, had its board of directors purged and reformed. So there's been talk of immediately shutting down the research in order to make an example of the Irie Institute since it was supported by the old faction. So if I die and the emergency manual is executed, the Irie Institute and the board of directors behind it, as well as the faction that supports them, will be held responsible. Normally, the Hinamizawa syndrome and other dangerous bombs associated with it are safe because only Tokyo knows about them. But when there's an enemy within Tokyo itself, Hinamizawa becomes a bomb that's all too easy to detonate. Is that something you made up, Rika-chan? Is it a fabrication? Or is it the truth? I don't know. But if I think about what's going on in Tokyo, I guess it is possible for some people to think things like that. Tomitake, you are a good person. You're a very good person who believes in his close friend. So I know if I say these things to that Tomitake, you'll never accept them. But I have to bring this up with First Lieutenant Tomitake, auditor for the Irie Institute. You weren't saying... Are you saying that it's Takano-san? Yes. Her request was denied, as was her own life. Not only that, she was denounced by the board of directors, so she's very hurt. You should know that since you're always with her, Tomitake. Is there any chance that someone seeking to use that heartbroken Takano approached her and instigated her into action? People who are hurt often open their hearts to whoever claims to understand them. Someone like that might have approached Takano to start something that will lead to chaos in Tokyo. Tomitake insisted that Takano-san would never do that. He repeated it a few more times, but then he fell silent again. Tomitake is an adult. He must have experienced some heartbreaking events himself. That's why he can understand that Takano is very hurt, and that it's possible that someone is using her. I understand what you want to say. I should clear some issues first, before I can truly trust Takano-san, huh? Tomitake. I'll get in touch with both Okanogi-kun from the Mountain Dogs and the Tokyo office to see if there have been some suspicious reports regarding Takano-san lately. The Mountain Dogs' specialty is counterintelligence, after all. No, the Mountain Dogs are on Takano's side. What? This is someone who persuaded Takano. Of course they've taken measures for the Mountain Dogs as well. That isn't impossible. The Mountain Dogs are a special counterintelligence unit. Even if there was a collaborator in the Irie Institute, it would be very difficult so long as they were attending to their duties. But if the Mountain Dogs themselves were... Can that be? But... Tomitake, please look into both Takano and the Mountain Dogs. Irie is on my side, but he doesn't know too much about Tokyo. That's true. I'm just a researcher. I know my position is just a formality for their convenience. That's why I can't clear Rika-san's suspicions by myself. I understand. I've been told that there's a possibility the Irie Institute could become rebellious. That's the reason why I'm here. I'll start investigating Takano-san and the Mountain Dogs right away. Thank you for believing me. This is the first time you actually have. I've been laughed away in many worlds, but Tomitake finally listened to me. He will be a very strong ally in the fight against Takano. Also, I'm grateful for my friends who prepared me to talk to him. I got information on the current situation from Irie, had my friends analyze it, and because of that, managed to get Tomitake to listen. Just as Hanyu said, I couldn't have done anything if I'd kept thinking about it all alone. But after talking to my friends, things are already changing. Actually, I'm going into hiding starting today. Mion's house is a secret basement that's perfect for that. I haven't talked to Mion about it yet, but I think she'll understand my request now. So if you find anything, please get in touch with her. Starting today, please act like I've gone missing. Understood. I think that's safest too. I'll act like I usually do, so people don't grow suspicious. Though I'll be careful, of course. Dr. Irie, please act normal as well, but always be on your guard. I understand. I'll be very cautious. Tomitake, please be careful yourself. I have a feeling that you might be assassinated within a few days. This is the part that he has never taken seriously. Please, hear what I'm saying. Okay, I'll be extra careful. Thank you. Yay, you did it. Then Tomitake turned around all of a sudden. Irie and I sensed something odd from his behavior and grew tense. Then, we heard some footsteps. We've been so careless. Did somebody overhear us? Did Takano and her people hear what we were saying? Oh. I will never forget that laugh as long as I live. True. Hello. What an interesting group. Dr. Irie, Tomitake-san, and Rika-san. I've been to Hinamizawa quite often, but I've never seen you three together before. Oh, hello, Ooishi-san. Huh? Is today the meeting day for Watanagashi? It's still so early. Irie tried to change the subject, but obviously Ooishi had heard everything. Tomitake from Tokyo is okay, but it's too early for Ooishi from the police department to get involved. Things are already complicated. Why does he have to show up now? Anyway, this isn't good. Well, when I went to your house, Hojo-san told me you were here. And I happened to run into your secret meeting. Sorry to bother you, though. The air froze, leaving only silence. The way Ooishi is speaking makes it obvious that he's trying to sniff things out. I bet he only heard a part of our conversation, so he can't grasp exactly what we were talking about. That's why he's trying to make us confess the whole thing. Come now, don't look at me like that. I'm getting embarrassed. Well, I brought someone with me today. Someone Rika-san would love to see again. Akasaka! I wonder if you remember Rika-san. Because if you don't, he might even start crying. What? Who? I can only think of one person. But did he ever come here in June 1983? But who else would come visit me? Come on in! Ooishi encourages a virile young man to enter. He looked a lot more mature than the last time I saw him. Akasaka. Thank you for remembering me, Rika-chan. You won't tell me to go back to Tokyo this time, will you? Akasaka. Akasaka! I remember how you helped me. Or rather, maybe I forgot at some point. But if I forgot about it completely, I would regret it. So I recalled it. You told me to call Yukie, and because I did, she avoided getting in an accident. You saved her life, and I'm here now out of gratitude. Feel like I've forgotten about it for a very long time, but now I finally remember. Sorry to make you wait for so long. That's right. You made me wait forever. And now you show up in this final world. You waited until the very last minute. How dare you? Akasaka. Akasaka. I'm your ally no matter what. I'll believe everything you tell me. And I will defeat whoever is trying to kill you. Akasaka remembered some strange things as he talked to me. He remembered a sad world where he lost his wife working on the kidnapping case in Hinamizawa. He forgot about me because of the despair and only remembered her afterwards. He regretted not being able to do anything for me. That memory from a different world brought Akasaka here. Akasaka calls himself my ally. That means a lot to me, since I never thought I'd have any allies at all. I can only bury my face in Akasaka's chest and cry. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything about you having such a young wife here in Hinamizawa when your wife's back in Tokyo. Nope, don't know a thing. The 80s. Fucking... Ooishi-san, no! This isn't what you think! Akasaka. 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 How many times are you gonna say that? Whatever. I can't voice Rika's fucking crying when she's doing her looper voice. Unless she's doing her fucking 10-year-old voice, which I can't tell. I complained that I couldn't defeat Takano alone. Hanyu admonished me. She told me that if we put our strength together and all believed in the same thing, we could make a miracle happen. I didn't believe her. But after I talked to Irie, my friends, and Tomitake, things were getting better and better. And now Akasaka is here too. Was Akasaka supposed to be coming back? Or is this a miracle? Miracles do occur. This man never helped me even once before, yet he might be my most dependable ally. Now he's back, and he's even telling me he's my ally no matter what. Hi, Hanyu.
See? It happens. Miracles really do occur.
You're right. We can make them happen. If we keep putting our strength together, do you think even more miracles will happen? Then, do you think we can make a miracle happen and defeat the curse of 1983?
Yes. Because we can smash through June of 1983 only by putting everyone's strength together.
Hanyu, who used to be just a bystander, is now persuading me. She's admonishing me for pretending to fight while I, too, was actually just a sulky bystander. Are you okay, Rika-chan?
Yes, sorry about that. Seeing you, brought back so many memories that I lost my cool. Meep.
Okay, I guess she is doing her 10-year-old voice. Whatever, I can't fucking tell. Rika has 2 different voices, and yeah. I wiped my tears and tried to hide my embarrassment. The Higurashi continued to cry. The Higurashi had been trying to remind me of something very important. I felt like they had taught me something important, and my eyes grew teary again. I'm surprised. I didn't know you had such a wonderful boyfriend. Ah, the 80s. Fucking glad I wasn't alive back then. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mamoru Akasaka. I work in Case Records Room 7 of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department's Public Security Bureau. Aren't the case record rooms in Tokyo's Public Safety Bureau a secret department on par with the CIRO? I believe it's a tough secret investigation unit that some have criticized as being secret police. If they're secret and they're police, wouldn't they be secret police? Like, whatever. No department would be foolish enough to slap secret onto the name for the secret division. Real secret divisions have boring names meant to fool the average person. That's true for Akasaka's department, too. It's called a reference room, but they don't manage documents. You seem to know quite a lot about us. I didn't think there'd be someone who knows the true identity of the Public Safety Department. Judging from the conversation you were having, I take it you have your own reasons for that. Well, I'm into stuff like that. I just happen to know, that's all. Tomitake-san, why don't you reveal your identity, I, for one, always figured you weren't just some traveling photographer. No, that is the truth. I just like taking pictures, that's all. What a waste of time this conversation is. This is the final world, after all.
Tomitake is the one who's connecting us in Tokyo. But he's my ally just the same.
Rika-chan! Tomitake and Yuria yelled simultaneously. To them, it's an extremely important secret, and if someone were to find out, they'd get eliminated by the mountain dogs. But it's okay now. There's no point of continuing to have suspicions and doubt. I've had enough of that. It's already obvious Tomitake isn't telling the truth, but he's still trying to deny what I just said. You're Director Irie, right? Thank you for taking care of me when I was injured 5 years ago. You really did a great job treating my wounds.
Now I remember. No, don't mention it. I only did my job.
The Irie Clinic is also known as the Irie Institute, right?
Well, I mean...
Come now, Dr. Irie, it's no use. We already heard it all earlier. You were saying that the Irie Institute's client is the Alphabet Project, right? I don't need to hear it from you, I already know everything. Up until just recently, Room 7 was investigating the men behind it and their means for funneling vast sums of money. The Alphabet Project was one of their tunnels. Akasaka is holding the top secret document he got his hands on a few days ago, which he brought all the way here, apparently. This document records how certain people were given public funds from ministries and government offices for assisting with various projects. These masterminds claimed they were attempting to revitalize Japan by using secret money and secret methods, but that was a lie even amongst themselves. The masterminds of these projects were making an enormous profit off of them. If that became public knowledge, Japan would be shaken to the core, and the government would be overthrown. That was what they were told, and that was the reason why the investigation was discontinued. First of all, I want to tell you one thing. The investigation by Room 7 has been shut down, and we are no longer working on the case. So I'm simply telling you what I found out in the course of the investigation. I'm on vacation here in Hinamizawa right now. Reminder that I brought classified documents here on vacation. I just want you to know that. Tomitake is still trying to hide his identity, but Irie isn't. He must have made up his mind, since Akasaka already knows about the Alphabet Project. We already know that they've been using tunnels to move vast sums of money to a research institute in Shishibone known as the Irie Institute. Also, the Irie Institute has a different name here in parentheses, the Irie Clinic. It also lists that the head of the Irie Institute is a lieutenant colonel from the SDF, Kyosuke Irie. A lieutenant colonel? Dr. Irie, you're in the SDF?
No, I'm not. Tomitake-san, let me tell them. Putting our clients aside, we aren't doing anything shady. Let's not hide anything. It'll only make Ooishi-san more suspicious. Irie is right. Ooishi will help us. I'm starting to feel like even Ooishi could be our ally. That would be incredible. As long as he doesn't get fucking sniped like last chapter, even though A, you didn't know that even in that, and B, you wouldn't remember. Tomitake finally gave in and admitted everything. In his place, I explained to them the existence of Hinamizawa syndrome, the Irie clinic that was established to research it, what's special about myself, and finally about the invisible conspiracy that revolves around it all. Ooishi was very surprised to hear about all this, but Akasaka told him to calm down, so he listened quietly. Since Akasaka belongs to a special unit, he wasn't too surprised. He kept nodding, saying that it's all very possible. This is working out great for me.
Just as you say, Rika-chan, there's a good chance there are some people who are planning something like that. Ooishi-san, what they are saying is well within the realm of the possible. This feels like the plot of a novel, a very, very long one. But if it's true... Compared to Akasaka, who has a flexible mind, Ooishi is having a hard time understanding such unrealistic stories. He'll probably need at least 3 cigarettes before he can digest what he just heard. I think Takano is suspicious, but there's no proof. I was asking Tomitake to investigate so that I can confirm my suspicions. Ooishi-san, can you arrest and detain Takano on a separate charge? I may lose my retirement money for that, but it could be done, I guess.
There are some counterintelligence members from the Mountain Dogs at the police station. Even if you try, Ooishi-san, there will be pressure from within the department.
I'll conduct an investigation on Takano-san. So if possible, can you leave it to me? I don't want anyone to get suspicious. Good, I would like to have my retirement money, actually. You're right. If Takano's investigation can only be done by Tomitake-san's institution, then the police shouldn't bother him. Besides, I have a feeling that this thing is a lot bigger than we think. Ooishi-san, I don't mean to sound rude, but maybe you should stay out of this. Akasaka-san, what do you mean by that? Fight! I'm kidding. Just like you told me earlier, you're retiring this year, right? You've worked hard for many years. You're about to collect your pension. Money is important. You'll need it to pay off your house, and you need money for life after retirement. But this hill's too dangerous to climb. My instincts are telling me that at the end of it, this case will be classified as if it didn't take place at all. In other words, unless I'm prepared to lose everything, I better pull myself out of this, right? That's what you're telling me, isn't it? Yes. I know I'm not in a position to tell you that, but I've been involved in cases that are much different from regular police work. So, what I'm saying now comes from experience. Ooishi was no fool. He was also an adult, and smart in a real sense. If he only listened to his pride, he would yell at Akasaka for insulting him. But what Akasaka is saying is true. Ooishi's pension is a big deal for him. People live far beyond their retirement. They still have 10 or even 20 years left after that. Their pension is the basis for that second life. A pension isn't ordinary money. It's very, very valuable. People receive their pension for working hard on rainy days and windy days, and even enduring the moments when their bosses give them a hard time. Even Ooishi has mumbled on occasion that he's going to quit and look for a new job. Yet he endured, and quietly did the unreasonable work asked of him. He's endured far more work than his salary merited. He's worked like that for a very long time, and now he's finally about to retire. He's finally about to collect his long-awaited pension. It's not about the amount of money itself. It's about having a value placed on what you've done with your life. So if one were to cause a scandal, the punishment for that would be placed on his pension. One such deplorable event can erase Ooishi's entire life as a policeman. That's not something that can be treated lightly. Akasaka is still young. Even if he loses his job, he will be able to find a new one. But Ooishi is too old. The repayment of his mortgage was planned around his pension. Ooishi is a grown-up's grown-up, and that's why he can't do anything reckless. Akasaka knows that, and that's why he said that Ooishi should back down. Ooishi understands it too. So, Akasaka had to ask him that tough question, in order to find out how strong Ooishi's commitment was. I've been awfully slow paying back my loan. Not because I wanted to hold on to some spending money. Even though I would have saved on interest if I just paid a bit more earlier on. But I just wanted to gamble and drink. If I'd lived my life so I didn't have to depend on my pension in my old age, I could jump right onto this case. Ooishi's fists were trembling. That's how he sheds his tears. But... I'm an officer until the moment I retire! No, even that doesn't matter. I promised in front of his grave. I promised that old man that I'd find out who killed him. I promised to stay a police officer until I arrest his murderer. In other words, me being a police officer isn't the issue here. What matters is that I keep my officer spirit until I find that murderer, even if I'm fired. But am I afraid to be fired? Am I afraid to lose my pension? Yes, I am! It'll ruin my plans for the future. I need a lot of money for them. My dream is to live a leisurely life in Hokkaido, work on a vegetable garden, have fun in Susukino, and take up ballroom dancing lessons. But why am I afraid? Is my officer's spirit so weak as all that? I've dreamt of uncovering the truth behind a series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. And the door to that truth I've sought for so long is right here in front of me. Damn it! God damn it! Why can't I just throw away my badge? Why can't I stop caring about what the police think? Damn it! Damn it! God damn it! Nobody could say anything in response to Ooishi. He's at a crossroads. The crossroads of a person who has worked so hard and so humbly for so long. How could the young people who know nothing about what he's had to go through say anything at all? You are a friend of the departed construction site manager, right? Yes. He was a friend, a brother, and a father to me. Although it's only a formality, I am the director of the Irie Institute. If the conspiracy that surrounds Rika-chan is exposed, I will be the one who takes the blame. Isn't that right, Tomitake-san? His position exists for exactly that purpose. To the Institute as a whole, Irie is there simply to cover for Takano's research. Tomitake, of course, knows about that, and even Irie has started to realize it. Even if Irie hadn't done anything wrong, he would have to take the blame as the person in charge of the Institute. That was how every organization purged itself, by forcing someone to take the blame and reshuffling members. That's why leaders get more money. When it's all over, I will tell you everything about the series of mysterious deaths. I actually have an obligation to remain silent for the rest of my life, but you'll let me tell him, won't you, Tomitake-san? I didn't hear anything. As an honest man, Tomitake can't say yes. so pretending to ignore it was the best he could do. No, that's not right. You can tell the brave Kurado Ooishi about it. The one who found the courage to help you. The cowardly Kurado Ooishi, the one who didn't want to lose his pension, doesn't deserve to hear the truth. He faced a dilemma. Even though the truth behind the mysterious deaths he sought so hard was right in front of him, he couldn't just accept it with his head held high. To understand what he's going through, one would have to live the life he did. His dilemma is very vast and very heavy. Young people couldn't possibly understand. Can I have some time to think about this? I really do want to find the truth and put evil behind bars. I just need some time to gather my courage. Could you grant me that? Why is he even asking? Nobody here will force him to make up his mind. Of course, I won't either. However, Ooishi needs someone's approval. Ooishi is still passionate about his work as a police officer, yet he isn't brave enough to take on this case. He wants somebody to forgive him for that. But nobody can do that, and nobody can stop Ooishi from crying.
Yes, I will grant you that time.
Hanyu? How long has she been here? Hanyu has arrived. I didn't see her come in. But then again, she's always around. Hanyu is the guardian deity of Hinamizawa, after all.
I'll grant you some time to make your decision. You have been honest, and you've been tough on yourself until today. Your life is not to be taken lightly, and that's why you are having such a hard time deciding. One should never be proud of careless decisions or brute courage. A careful judgment made by a person who has lived a worthy life, like you, that's what's worth being proud of. She might sound arrogant to us, but that was exactly what Ooishi needed to hear. Right. Who among us has the right to admonish Ooishi? The eldest one here. No one. No one should be able to. Nobody but one. The one who has been protecting humans for over 1,000 years. Hanyu. No matter if you decide calmly or courageously, I will praise you. As long as your decision was made well.
I've never met you before, but thank you. That makes me feel better. Thank you for giving a coward like me the time of day. If it was me, I would have asked Ooishi to be my ally, and asked him for help. But that wouldn't have reached his heart. Wanting help is my selfish request. I don't know anything about the life he lived, and that's why my words wouldn't reach him. But Hanyu's words did. Hanyu has never told me this, but I can tell she's been watching Ooishi since the day he was born. She's been watching all that he went through. That's why she can say that. And why what she said could reach him. Only Hanyu can do that. Dr. Irie, there's only one thing. Please, tell me one thing.
Sure. Ask me anything.
I've long suspected that the Sorozaki family was pulling the strings in the old man's murder case. Am I right to think that?
No, you are not. You're wrong. We can explain everything about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa.
I see.
Ooishi pretended to scratch his head. For so long, he pursued the case with that belief. Yet someone deeply involved was telling him he'd missed the mark, so he must be feeling at least some frustration. What Irie said wouldn't be enough, so I have to continue. Ooishi, none of the curses of Oyashiro-sama were done in secret by the villagers. The Sonozaki family, the 3 families, and the other villagers, none of them are involved. There were only misunderstandings, misinterpretations, coincidences, tragedies, and comedies. The real identity of the curse of Oyashiro-sama is simply a series of misinterpretations. It only looks like the villagers are acting in secret. So, all of the information I've gathered so far about the Sonozaki family,
is worthless?
Oh, perspective change. The heads of the Sonozaki family have a secret precept. They must always act as if they command even natural disasters. The Sonozaki family knows nothing. Moreover, they are even afraid of the incidents that occur every year. But in order to maintain their dignity, they act as though they're the ones behind everything. Oh my goodness. I see. It all makes sense now.
If that's true, then that Oreo woman... Damn it! She sure said some things to mislead me. You're telling me the truth, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's written in the Furude family's secret scrolls, too. Do you want to see? I have no idea what Ooishi thinks is so funny. Nobody here can tell what's going through Oishi's mind. Except the girl who has watched over human beings for over 1,000 years. I can understand why you're so happy.
What? What do you mean?
The thought that you don't have to hate anyone anymore is a very, very welcome concept.
Oh no! The Sonozaki family still is a vile organization with its claws all over Shishibone City. That doesn't change. I've been stabbed by one of them before, you know? They may not be responsible for the mysterious deaths, but they are still my enemies. That's all still true, but I just feel happy.
None of us can tell if what Hanyu is saying is right. Ooishi believed the Sonozaki family was behind it all. And now that he's learned that they're not, I'm sure he feels like everything he stands for has been made meaningless. But if Hanyu says it's not the case, to hate someone must be such a painful thing. I can't explain Ooishi's laughter. All I can do is speculate. Okay, I thought it was gonna fade. Well, it still might, but I don't know. No, it's not. Ooishi left with a cigarette in his mouth, saying that he wanted to cool off a little. We won't get anywhere until we know if Takano-san is guilty or not. So we won't be able to act until after we hear the report from Tomitake-san.
I don't know why Rika-chan is so suspicious of Takano-san. Personally, I feel bad for her. But what she said makes sense, too. Rika-chan is an important person. And we can't let anyone suspicious get near her. I just realized I never brought my bag back in from the kitchen. Whatever. Tomitake is making it sound like he's going to prove Takano's innocence. I guess I can't blame him, since he's in love with her. To be honest, I'm also hoping that Takano isn't guilty. Takano understands me, and she was one of my allies. I had a friendship with her. I've trusted her for over 100 years. But Hanyu says that Takano is guilty. If something pops out when we poke her, then the question is how well Tomitake can catch it. To get people to help me, I have to find proof of Takano's guilt. So I just have to trust Tomitake for now. Tomitake-san, please be very careful. If she is guilty, then you'll be in danger too. I understand. I'll move to a new hotel without letting the Institute know. I should probably leave Hinamizawa immediately, but if Takano-san is guilty, that would backfire. That's pretty tough, yeah. It's a cardinal rule to act normally during a secret investigation. Would you prefer to stay with me? No, that's alright. It's fine, I'll be very careful. But Rika-chan's safety is the priority here. What should we do?
What should we do? Hanyu, what should we do? Using shogi as an example, you're like an unprotected king. As soon as Takano gets a hold of you, the game is over. One of the most important rules in shogi is to guard the king first, right? Yes. Today is Thursday.
No, it's Monday.
Watanagashi is in 3 days. You need to hide somewhere nobody can find you until at least then. Any idea where? I think you should ask Mion. That's true. The Sonozaki family's underground storehouse would be an ideal place to hide. Satoko should go with you too. If I leave Satoko behind, they'll question her about my whereabouts. She may be in danger too. That means I'll have to tell the truth to at least Satoko and Mion. That the comic plot we discussed wasn't just fiction. Still, I always seem to underestimate the reliability. It really is beyond my imagination. I need to talk to them. I have a feeling they'll believe me. They're my steadfast allies, after all. We're going into hiding for a while. There's a perfect place for that at Mion's house.
Will you really be safe there?
Yes, it's like an air raid shelter. It has everything we need. We can easily stay there for about a month. The Sonozaki family's underground storehouse has every basic necessity, in case someone actually had to live there due to some complication or another. Mion has mentioned before that it's like a unique vacation house. I don't know how you can call a place with a torture room a vacation house, though.
I don't know how long my investigation into Takano-san will take, but as soon as I find out something, I'll call Mion-chan's house. Is that okay?
That works fine.
To tell you the truth, the Mountain Dogs have a bug on Rika-chan's home phone for security reasons. So that works better either way.
Meep. So somebody has been listening to all of my personal conversations?
No, it's set up so they can tune in, but that doesn't mean they're listening to every normal conversation. They only do it when they have a security drill that happens a few times a year.
I bet my phone at the clinic is being wiretapped too, huh?
Oh well, yes. That's because of the purpose of the facility, though. Please understand. Excuse me. How do they actually do that? Rika-chan's landline branches off. Do you remember the little shack behind the shrine? The line leads into there, which is where they wiretap it. Usually there's no one there, but once the Mountain Dogs receive orders to guard her, there will be 2 agents recording conversations in there all the time. Of course, they don't usually record anything. Is there a security drill scheduled in the near future? Or maybe orders to guard her?
Security drills take place in January, April, July, and October. So there's no drill this month. Orders to guard her are given only when they anticipate an emergency, but they haven't been given even... But they haven't been given one even... What? But they haven't been given one even once since this institute was established.
Who gives those orders?
The director does, which is me. But Takano-san is a surrogate director, so she can send out orders too.
If Takano really is the person who wants to kill Rika-chan, then she'll use the Mountain Dogs to spy on her.
That's very possible.
In other words, if people start to go in and out of that shack, it means that Takano has made her move. So we could take that as proof that tensions are building around Rika-chan, right?
I don't know if that would prove that Takano-san is behind it, but we can take it as a sign that danger is approaching.
Indeed. Regardless of whether Takano is guilty or not, that's what it means. As long as we keep our eyes on the shack, Rika-chan will stay safe and secure. That's a great idea.
But there is one problem, Rika. If there are no lights on in the house at night, it'll be obvious to everyone that there's nobody home. Takano doesn't even have to wiretap your phone. As soon as she sees the house, she'll realize you're skipping school and ran away. You're right. And that puts Tomitake, who's investigating Takano, in a tight spot. We'll have to think of something to counteract that. So we're dealing with having to observe the wiretapping shack, like Akasaka was saying earlier. Then there's the problem with having to keep the lights on at your house. It's also a fact that it's better for Akasaka to stay in the village. If I put out 3 together and mix them up, I get... Ow, ow, ow. I have an idea. Oh no. You aren't thinking about letting Akasaka stay at my house, are you? No. Absolutely not. My house is such a mess. It smells and it's filthy. I can't let Akasaka stay in there. No, no, no.
Oh.
Hello. Akasaka is staying over. Hello. I said no. No, 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 no.
Why are you making such a fuss, Rika-chan?
Meep. I lost my cool there for a moment. Meepa.
Okay, fucking, I can never guess what voice she's using. I guess whenever she meeps or neepas, it's 10-year-old.
Jeez, just because Hanyu's insisting, okay?
Ow, 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 ow. You do that in your head, too? It's true that if Rika-chan's house ends up empty, there won't be any lights on at night. And leaving them on would be even more suspicious.
Akasaka? Meep? What do you think of staying at my house while I'm gone?
I see. That's a great idea. As long as it's okay with you, Rika-chan, let's do that.
Akasaka seems to think it's a pretty good idea. Am I selfish for wanting him to get a little embarrassed about staying at my house? I should be ashamed of myself. Ow, ow, ow. Everything is set. Tomitake is going to get in touch with his colleagues in Tokyo and start an investigation on Takano. That's all. That's all we can do from our end. Irie is going to lead his normal life. To act normally after something like this will be pretty difficult, but there really isn't anything else for him to do right now. Takano is sly. She'll never let Irie ruin her plans. Actually, Irie only comes into the picture after Takano's been exposed. Ooishi didn't say he would help, but he said he wouldn't interfere with us. In fact, there are some people with ties to the mountain dogs at the police department too. It's probably best if Ooishi acts normally, like Irie is. I'm going to tell Satoko the truth and hide at Mion's house for a while, starting today. I don't know how long I'll have to hide, but it'll be at least until something happens. Akasaka is going to stay at my house and make it look like I'm homesick. If something happens, coming all the way from Okinomiya would take too long. It feels much better to have him stay in the village. Everything will begin only once Tomitake finds out something. Irie says he hopes things will get moving soon, but I don't think we need to worry about that. They will try to kill Tomitake on the night of Watanagashi, on Sunday, 2 days from today. That has never changed in many, many worlds, so that's definitely their plan. In other words, even if Tomitake doesn't find anything, the wheels will start turning in 2 days. I had warned Tomitake again to be extremely careful. But still, if I still get killed, I'll curse your family for 7 generations after I die. Great, Rika. It's already getting dark. Everyone went home except for Akasaka. I'm still thinking about how to tell Satoko about Akasaka, and also about what's to come. Worrying about it won't solve anything. Rika, you have a bad habit of underestimating your friends. But how can she believe that what we talked about at school today is actually real? How can she believe me when I tell her that her life is in danger? In addition, I'm bringing home this guy she's never met before. Don't you think Satoko will believe you? I don't know, but it's possible that she won't. Oh, so Satoko isn't your friend, is she? What? What Hanyu just said startled me. It was kind of a scary thing to hear, even though she said it while wearing her usual warm smile. I know Satoko is one of us. I think she will believe you and become your ally against Takano. But you're saying you can't trust her. It's like saying Satoko isn't your friend. If she isn't even your friend, then why waste your time telling her about it? No. Let's just leave Satoko behind and go to Mion's house by ourselves. Just the 2 of us. What are you saying? That's nonsense! Satoko is my best friend and... If you don't think it's worth telling her the truth, then that's it. You just think a best friend is like a stray cat that you feed every day. I'm actually surprised to learn that you've been letting Satoko live with you when you think of her like that. I didn't say that! Satoko is my best friend. My very best! Yeah, she's even closer to me than you are. But you don't believe she will believe. It's the same as spouting your complaints at a stray cat that you feed every day. You know the cat can't do anything, and knowing that you still complain to her, and that's all your relationship is. Ow, poor Satoko. She believes you're her best friend, but you don't feel the same way. Ow.
Damn you! I tried to slap Hanyu, but I couldn't touch her. My hand went through her cheek and hit only the air. Can't believe she made herself incorporeal again. Hanyu disappeared, saying ow in a teasing manner. I'm upset, but I can totally understand what she was getting at. Will your roommate agree?
I'll make her agree. Satoko has nothing to do with this conspiracy, but since she lives with me, she's going to end up involved anyway. For Satoko's sake, I have to explain this to her.
Should I wait outside?
No. I think it'll be better to have you with us so she doesn't think it's a joke. If I can't explain it properly, can you help?
Sure, I will. I went up to the second floor with Akasaka. To be honest, I couldn't even imagine how to start bringing it up. But even Hanyu made fun of me. I can't hesitate. I made up my mind and walked into the room, and was surprised. My messy room is all cleaned up. Satoko is packing her pajamas and towels into her duffel bag. It's as if she's going on a camping trip.
Satoko? I'm home.
Here, I got your luggage ready too. We can't just borrow toothbrushes and towels from Mion-san, you know? Besides, we can't let some strange man stay in a messy room either. This is why I always tell you to tidy things up around here.
I blinked in surprise. I don't understand why Satoko already knows what's going on. If she saw me, Irie and Tomitake talking behind the shrine with Ooishi and a strange man, she'd be sure to get curious. Satoko must have overheard our conversation. Not only that, she packed our luggage and cleaned our room, which means she already knows Akasaka is going to stay in this house. She must have come home in a hurry to get things done.
So it wasn't just a storyline for some comic, was it?
Neep.
You know, that's what I don't like about you, Rika. Have I ever doubted you before? I always thought that I was your best friend, that you would count on me before anyone else.
I'm sorry.
Satoko doesn't seem that angry. Rather, she seems shocked that what we talked about at school is real. She isn't really that upset. But this is exactly what Hanyu said. I thought Satoko was my best friend, yet I couldn't trust her completely. Having realized this, I apologized. Satoko turned around as if to tell me there's no time for apologies. I think she accepted it. As the proof of that, she's getting things ready to go to Mion's house. Thank you, Satoko.
Akasaka-san, is it? I don't know how you and Rika know each other, but if you're Rika's ally, then you're mine too. You may call me Satoko Hojo.
Nice to meet you. I'm Akasaka. The conspiracy surrounding Rika-chan runs pretty deep, and it's not easy to explain. She was afraid you'd reject her after she confessed to everyone, so please try to understand how she felt too.
Of course I understand. I'm Rika's best friend, you know? She was thinking that I didn't believe her. Who would? I can understand why she'd be afraid.
You're really mature, Satoko-chan. Rika-chan is lucky to have you as her best friend. I'm pretty envious of her. Satoko took Akasaka around the house and explained everything. She let him know that the switch for the hot water heater sticks a little and that if the picture on the TV gets messed up, he needs to tap on it. She even told him about all the traps she set around the shrine using a secret map of hers. Akasaka listened to her dead seriously. Upon seeing them talk, I couldn't help but smile. Hanyu also smiled while watching us, but it felt like she was saying, "I told you so." I'm going to pretend that I don't notice her.
If our contrarian Satoko believed me this easily, then our simple-minded Mion will believe us even more easily. Keiichi doesn't even know how to doubt people, and Rena has sharp instincts, so she'll believe me too. So everyone is going to believe me, huh?
What about Shion? Hanyu didn't reply, but she smiled as if she's happy to see that I grew a little.
Alright, there are plenty of things in the refrigerator. Rika, you're asking him to house sit, so why don't you make dinner for him tonight? Besides, just to be safe, perhaps we should go over to Mion-san's house a little later.
Oh, don't worry. I can handle that myself.
Hello? This is a chance to serve him your homemade food, Rika. Hello.
You really are annoying today.
Oh, right, Satoko. We have to make something good, huh? I have an idea. Can you bring out the large kimchi bottle from the refrigerator? No, not that one. The one that says death penalty, not the one that says punishment. Let's make kimchi fried rice today. Akasaka, do you like spicy food?
Oh, yes! I love spicy things.
Hello.
The cream puffs in the refrigerator have expired, so let's throw them away. Ah, what a waste. I heard they're from a famous shop over in Gogura. The owl-owls are awfully loud today. Maybe a stray dog's howling somewhere.
Night is falling on the 16th of June. The pieces are lining up on the final game board one after another. No, pieces isn't the right word to call them. Night is falling on the 16th of June. We're gaining reliable allies for this final challenge. Our first key, Tomitake, will be killed in 3 days. Fate is going to change before that point. And then, yep. I won't lie, there were a couple times like in the last 20 minutes where I was like, okay, the chapter's gonna end, and if it doesn't end, it's gonna go on for several fucking hours longer. So I'm glad I didn't do that until now. Achieving a lock, setting up the pieces, fucking tip menu, still no tips. I guess it makes sense that there aren't tips, but whatever. Alrighty, I pushed the continue button. What's gonna fucking show up? It's bugged me out, wouldn't that be something? Anyways. Oh no, it's bugged Rena. Okay, I'm guessing this is implying you're telling everyone right now. Or maybe we're in Keiichi's perspective. That makes more sense, actually. That makes way more sense. Yeah, we're in Keiichi's perspective. Anyways, though, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button. And if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!